Hello everybody, Lived Here for Life here, bringing us a brand new deck profile. Today we have a deck that I am very excited to bring you with GMX. This deck is of course the newest TCG exclusive deck, and yeah, it's people are not happy with it, and I can't really blame them. This deck definitely has very bad weaknesses, and it sucks. I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's a really fun deck to play against in locals and everything, and I do think it's better than people give it credit for. But yeah, when you compare it to like Mitsurugi and a few of the other past CGG exclusive decks, yeah, it's one of the more middling ones. I would say it's got a lot more potential than Testina. It's, of course, way better than War Rock. But, like, comparing it to, like, even, like, Gold Pride, I think Gold Pride would arguably be better. That deck has an actual end board and has a lot of really good stuff to work with the Psychic deck and everything. Especially after the recent Psychic stuff. Oh, my God. But I do still really like this deck. It's got a layered end board, but it's missing out on negates. It's missing negates. It has one single negate in this entire deck. It has multiple pops, multiple back row, not so much back row, but multiple ways to destroy the board. Of course, we've got the good old Dino good stuff in here, and that Dino good stuff carries it. It carries it so hard. The fact this deck can loop Miscellaneousaurus multiple times, it can just keep reusing it, keep putting them back in graveyard. The fact that you can make very heavy use of Animadorn Archosaur, of Overraptor, Baby Cerosaurus. This is basically Dino with GMX, basically, as an engine. Also, please let me know down below what you think of the new lighting. I think I figured out my lighting issue for deck profiles. This looks really good, and I've even got my fan on and it doesn't look like a disco rave, which I am very happy about. But if you guys still have any ideas on with the lighting, please let me know down below. So I don't want to hold you up too long. Let's get into this deck profile. I am planning on doing an archetype analysis of GMX, as this deck has been very fun. But man, I got some critiques. Anyways, let's get on with it. First and foremost, we have GMX Chairman Kimridge. Now, Kimridge here is a Suedo starter. You can reveal him in your hand, search out from your deck or graveyard one GMX Applied Experiment 55 to your hand, and then shuffle him back into the deck. Now, that is an inherent minus. It's not a plus at all. You're trading one card for a specific other card. But what it is it gets you to the deck's branded fusion, so to speak. And yeah, that's pretty good. That's nice. It also puts them back into deck so that then you have a better chance of hitting a GMX monster, so you don't burn yourself to death, because yeah, that's another problem with the deck, is that you can very easily just burn out your life points so quick with this deck. But yeah, he's got that. He's also got an effect where if he's summoned by a monster effect, you can not shuffle, but you can target two guys in your graveyard, put them back on top of or on the top or bottom of your deck. I believe it's top or bottom. Let me double check that. Yeah, target two cards in your graveyard that are GMX cards and or dinosaurs. Place them on top of your deck. Okay, it's not on bottom, but put them on top of your deck in any order, and then destroy one face-up attack position monster your opponent controls. The big thing is, of course, it recycles. It puts stuff on top so you don't burn yourself to death later. Also helps you like get back like Overraptor, and like if your opponent kills your Ultimate Conductor, stuff like that. Really handy. But also non-targeting destruction is really cool. The fact that it destroys any face-up attack position monster your opponent controls, non-targeting, are really good there. And makes him an interruption if you summon him off of like Cross Sheep, which I will say right off the bat here, Cross Sheep is like one of the best endboard pieces in this deck, because you do fuse on your opponent's turn quite a bit, and both Kimridge and Noma have interruptions on their summon, although Noma is not nearly as good as Kimridge. Next up, we've got probably one of the, actually the other best like GMX monster, and that is Saland, Researcher Saland. On normal summon, you can special summon any level 4 or lower GMX monster that's not a warrior, or any dinosaur that's a level 4 or lower. I believe it's level 4 or lower. Yeah, level 3 or lower dinosaur, or a non-warrior GMX. Okay, so any non-warrior GMX or a level 3 or lower dinosaur. I promise I know what these cards do. It's just I know what they do from playing, and I don't remember the specifics. Anyways, and then this is another fatal flaw with this deck. This is only on normal summon. It's not on special summon, which really doesn't make any sense because the other guys have effects on special summon as well. But then also, he has another effect where once per turn, if you control a fusion, you can target one face-up card you control, shuffle them back into the deck from the field, and get that card that you targeted. Why is this not a quick effect? If this was a quick effect, this card would be so much better. And I want to double check. Is it any card? Or, yeah, target one face-up card on the field if you control a dinosaur fusion monster. And then, yeah, just target a face-up card and negate it. Why is this not a quick effect? It boggles my mind. I'm not joking. There's this guy and an Alos, one of the fusions. If they were quick effects, this deck would be so much better. It would be so much better. And then also Deneen. If Deneen, little Deneen, not the big Deneen. If little Deneen, his effective fusion summon was a quick effect, this deck would be so much better. If Alos, Saland, and Little Deneen were all quick effects, this deck would be going places. I really feel like it, at least. But no, we don't get that, okay? Konami, why? You have so many cool ideas for so many cool archetypes, and then you just blow it. Anyways, yeah, Saland is like one of the best starters in the deck. You normal summon him. You get out your any level 3 or lower dino is the main thing you're going for. Very rarely do you go for any of the non-warrior GMXs, but you're usually going for either Deneen or Anabadorn Archosaur based on whatever your hand is looking like. God help you if you draw the Deneen. Drawing Deneen really sucks. So yeah, you really just don't want to do that. Anyways, moving on. For our one of, well, actually we have several one of GMX cards. First we have Big Saland. We have Gen X, oh god, partner. I almost read that as parent, Saland, who is a level 5 warrior with 1500 attack, 1900 defense. He's basically just Saland riding Deneen, and has, I think, Deneen's defense actually. Really cool card with what this does is that you can reveal it in your hand and then special summon any GMX or a Dino from your hand. If he is summoned, you summon any Dino or GMX from your graveyard or banish. I think, or maybe even from, yeah, special summon one level 4 or lower GMX or Dinosaur from your hand, graveyard, or banish in defense position. So yeah, really good card. If you do use his hand effect to special summon, you are locked into only being able to attack with GMX monsters directly. But that just means Ultimate Conductor Tyranno can just eat your opponent's board, and then your GMXs can attack for game directly. So, not a bad trade-off. Because of this card being a level 5, I've unironically thought about doing a Canine build. Need to actually test that out before I actually say if it's any good or not. In theory, it sounds like it could be good, and you'd play more than one of them. But I don't know. If this was a starter, he would be amazing. But no, he's not. Anyways, next we have one of the other one-ofs here, GMX Suppression Squad. Suppression Squad says if you control a GMX or a dinosaur, you can special summon it from your hand. You can target one monster in the field, excavate cards until you hit a dinosaur or a GMX, send that card to the graveyard, and then the targeted card, monster you targeted, becomes a dinosaur. Suppression Squad is a just kind of okay card. He's a random full of Spirial. The big thing that he does two big things. For one thing, again, he's a random full of Spirial, which is helpful. But the main thing that he does is that he becomes a dinosaur because you're usually targeting himself. Although sometimes maybe you want to screw up what your opponent's doing and make them dinosaurs, but this, I mean, it's not super relevant all the time. I guess if you're playing against Fairy Tail, it can be. But the other big thing is it's another way to trigger excavations, and you need more ways to do that. That's another thing this deck really needs, honestly, is more ways to trigger excavations, so you can proc Deneen, big Deneen that is, and also Comprex. But the big thing, though, is that he's a level 4 who's a dinosaur, basically. So, yeah, you know, Lagia Dolka combos. What else do I say? He's just an extender, searchable extender at that. And then, for the last GMX monster in the main deck we do play one Noma. Noma, her special summon effect is that whenever she is special summoned by a monster effect, you can target 2 cards in both players' graveyards, or is it only 1? If this card is special, you can target 1 card from each graveyard, from your graveyard, and opponents place them on top or bottom. That's why I was getting Kimmeridge mixed up. And, yeah. She doesn't disrupt, but what she does do is she sets up your top deck and screws up what your opponent is doing, because maybe, like, I don't know, you give them an MST and you don't care about MST, or whatever happens to be in their graveyard that is going to annoy them. The other big thing, though, is that she's another way to fusion summon. If your opponent special summons or normal summons a monster, you can... Actually, I want to double check that. It is... Yeah, if a monster is normal or special summoned onto your opponent's field, you can fusion summon any dinosaur fusion monster using monsters in your field, graveyard, or banished. And banished is the big one. Yeah, it does not use hand. Just double checking here. So yeah, field, graveyard, or banished. And the big thing is that this allows you to go for, I mean, the intended target is obviously Velox, but you're mainly using this to go into Comprex. And Comprex is really handy because he just needs 1 GMX plus as many dinosaurs as you want. So, easy way to recycle your deck, get you guys back into your deck, easy way to recycle your boss monsters in the main deck and everything. Really just great card all around, gets you to your fusions and everything. I just wish she had an on-summon effect or any kind of disruption like Kimmeridge. The graveyard effect can be relevant in some matchups, but because you're usually summoning her in reaction to something, she's coming out too late to actually screw up whatever your opponent is trying to get back from the graveyard. Finally, for the last of the GMX, like, archetype, even though he's not part of the archetype technically, but he is part of the archetype. Why is he not a GMX in name? Anyways, Return Dino Deneen is a level 1 with 400 attack and 1200 defense, and who says whenever he is special summoned by a monster effect, you can search out any GMX monster. Awesome, cool, we get a way to search out our monsters. If he's summoned by a monster effect, why is it not on normal summon? And then also he has a way to he's basically oh god, what's the little dragon thing from Draco Tale? I forget. Anyways, once per turn he can fusion summon using himself and any other monsters to go into any dinosaur fusion. Why is that not a quick effect? Why is the search not on normal or special summon? Why is this fusion not a quick effect like the freaking thing from Draco Tale whose name is escaping me? He's little and red, I cannot remember. He's on Sting. Yeah, it's driving me nuts. Anyways, Deneen is honestly probably the best card in the deck, but you only want to play one of them because opening him really, really sucks. He also has a third effect that I forget about, but is important for chain blocking purposes, especially with Big Deneen in the extra deck, and that is that whenever he's sent to the graveyard, you can make all dinosaurs you control gain 400 attack. That is a permanent attack gain, which is really nice, but the big thing is its activated effect, so you go into the Big Deneen in the extra deck with him and another dino, and then you do Big Deneen effect to search a spell or trap card, and then you chain this guy's effect to, well, chain block. Actually, I think Big Deneen can search out any GMX card, right? Yeah, any GMX card. Cool. Oh, boy. Okay, moving on. Let's look at the dino stuff. First and foremost, I mean, this is a given. 3 Overraptor. What do you want me to say? It's Overraptor. It's Stratos for the deck and can bring back stuff from the graveyard. It's a stupid good card. It's probably still one of the best dino cards ever printed. And good lord, it just really dawned on me just how rare it is we get good dino stuff. The last time was the Drax stuff from the recent support, and when was the last time we got good dino stuff before the recent Drax stuff? Oh my god. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. I don't want to dwell on it too long. We got 3 Archosaur. I'm so glad this card is cheap now. I remember when this was like a $30 card for no good reason. Archosaur is a really good card on summon. You destroy another dino in hand or field, except for Archosaur or another copy of himself, and you search out an evolution pill. Of course, you're searching out Super Evolution Pill. You're not grabbing any of the others. And that's all he does. So yeah, he just kind of sits there. Moving on. well, you use them as link fodder, obviously. We got 2 Baby Ceratosaurus. I keep going back and forth between 2 and 3. I found that 3 was rather bricky. 2 seems pretty good to me right now. Maybe go up to 3, back and forth, keep deciding, can't decide, and sticking with 2. Next up is our one-ofs, and we got 1 Ygopro. This card is a card that I've been testing, and you can arguably cut, but I really like it. So, once per turn while it's on the field, you can add any polymerization from your deck to your hand. Awesome. If it gets banished, you can special summon it. Well, if it gets banished from the graveyard, you can special summon it, and then if polymerization's in your graveyard, you can add it back to your hand. It also has, I think if like there's 2 wind or something. Okay, if your opponent controls 2 or more face-up monsters, except wind monsters, those monsters cannot target this card for attacks. Why does it have that? That's so random. Anyways, oh, and he doesn't have to be banished from graveyard specifically. If he just banished in general, he special summons himself back, and then you can add a poly from grave back to hand. Ygopro, and might as well just pull it out now with the polymerization, is another way to get to fusion summoning, to be able to get to different stuff. You summon him off of like Baby Ceratosaurus in certain combos, or you banish him with like Super Evolution Pill, and then you get your poly after that. It's also a way to get back poly recursively, so you can just keep doing more fusions without having to burn yourself to death. So yeah, Ygopro is not half bad. His dedicated fusion monster, Horned Saurus, is also really good. So, yeah. Anyways, this little 2-card package is a pretty sweet deal. You can cut it for other stuff if you want to. It's down to whatever your personal preference is. Moving on, we got 1 Myfigurecollection. Myfigurecollection probably could come back to 3 and nothing would change, but is it a card that should be at 3? That's debatable. It's basically Sanguine Summoning. Not quite. Sanguine Summoning is infinitely more scary. But this card's not actually that far different. It makes your stuff immune and summons a guy, or gets you to a guy. Anyways, not gonna go down that rabbit hole. People are gonna kill me in the comments. Anyways, Misk, I already know what Misk does. You discard him, make all your dinos immune to card effects for that main phase, and then you can banish them from your graveyard, plus any number of other dinos that you want to, and then summon a dino with a level equal to the number of monsters banished, including this card. Of course, most of the time you're banishing just himself to get to Archosaur, or in this case, Deneen. And Deneen will get you a search because you're summoning him off of a monster effect. Pretty good card all around for this. Not much else to say. What do you want me to say? It's Myfigurecollection. This card is stupid. Next up, we got the 1 Overtext Quaddulus. This is another card I've gone back and forth between cutting and keeping. It's a cool card. It's another way to get to Super Evolution Pill. It's a negate, and it shuffles back stuff from banish. It comes up depending on the specific matchup you're playing against. Like, if you're playing against a fusion deck like Dracotail, Ultimate Conductor doesn't do anything to that deck, so you go into Quaddulus instead and hope to God they don't open Malulu. That's his name, Malulu. God, I can't believe I just now remembered it. Anyways, and then that way you can destroy like Ketu, Rahu, or branded fusion if anybody's still playing the Dracotail branded build. Apparently it actually is still doing pretty well, which honestly doesn't surprise me. That deck is very, very strong still. But anyways, yeah, Overtext, good card. Then we got the best boy, Yugioh, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Still probably the best Dino boss monster ever printed. What do you mean you can just cheese him out for free with Super Evolution Pill from deck? What do you mean if he's in your hand you can just banish 2 dinos and special summon him? What do you mean he just Book-a-Moons everything for basically nothing? What do you mean you can attack over everything and burn your opponent for 1,000 each time if they're in defense position? Stupid card, good card, still probably the best Dino boss monster. Konami really is going to have to try hard to top this, and they have been failing tremendously. Anyways, let's take a look at our non-engine monsters. 3 Fua, what do you want me to say? It's Fua. It's the face of evil, what do you want me to say? We got 3 Ash, of course, you know. And then that is it for the hand traps. You could, again, make some adjustments to ratios to fit in more. Personally, right now, I think Ogre is probably going to be fun. Because, like, oh, your opponent normal summons a cool 2 monster, activates the effect of search, and then you just Ogre it. And then pray they don't have cool 2 Synchro. Anyways, I don't know. There's other options and stuff, but this deck can't really afford to fit a lot of hand traps in it. I'm already pushing it with these. I want to play more, but I don't know. What do you guys think down below? Let me know. Anyways, moving on from those. Whoops. We got our spells. First and foremost, 3 Fossil Dig. What do you want me to say? It's Rhoda for dinos. Level 6 or lower, at least. Gets you to your stuff. Then for GMX stuff, we have 2 of the GMX 55th Experimental Report. This card is basically Key2 Draco Tail broken up into 2 pieces. It's a fusion, it's a normal polymerization for any dinosaur fusion monster. Using materials from your hand or field. Well, as long as your opponent doesn't have a monster. If your opponent has a monster, you can also use 1 monster in deck. Cool. Yeah, it's Key 2. Kind of. Because, again, it doesn't search like Key 2, but it does. Once per turn, if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it, excavate cards until you hit a GMX card, add it to your hand. Yeah, the only thing is you can only use 1 effect a turn. You can't use both effects in a turn. You can't use the fusion and then search. You can't dump it to the graveyard or discard it, and then search and then use another copy to fuse. Again, why Konami? Why can we not just do both effects? Better yet, why is the graveyard effect not a quick effect? We need more ways to be able to trigger the excavations on both turns, and it having a grave effect, a quick effect would have been amazing. Next up, we have 2 Lost World. I've been going back and forth between playing 2 and 3 of this. 2 has been fine so far. I've been seeing it enough. And on top of that, it's searchable thanks to Hornsaurus, so it's not terrible at playing 2, but you could easily bump it up to 3 if you wanted to. I do play 1 GMX Lab for number 5. This card says once per turn you can set any GMX spell trap from your deck into your back row, and then place 1 card from your hand on top of your deck. Obviously, this is meant so that you can guarantee you're going to resolve your fusions without killing yourself, or at least making it a little easier by putting 1 guy on top of your deck. Also, your opponent cannot activate anything in response to your GMX monsters whenever they are summoned. This is really good. It's so stupid. Let's see here. Yeah, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal or special in a GMX monster. Just stupid card. It's almost Magical Meltdown in that regard. And the searching being just once per turn is really cool. I really hate how you have to nig yourself. I wish it was an optional, like then you can instead of then put a guy on top of your deck. But anyways, really good card all around. Something that is really, really needed for this deck. Finally, for the GMX stuff at least, of course I also have Super Evolution Pill in here, but for the last, the GMX cards and cards I probably got to explain, at least in the spells, is GMX Applied Experiment number 55. This card is basically Branded Fusion, except you do so by excavating the top cards of your deck until you hit both a Dino and a GMX. You lose life equal to the cards you excavated times 400, and then you can fusion summon any GMX fusion monster using any 2 monsters that you revealed. Really good card all around. You can kill yourself very easily using this while you have anything lower than starting life is kind of scary. Highest I've ever taken was 4,000, which yeah, that was not fun. Anyways, yeah, this card's really cool. You do get to use any 2 monsters that you reveal, so if you keep revealing dinos and 10 cards deep, you finally reveal a freaking GMX monster, you can use any of the dinos you revealed. Hitting Misk off of this is just stupid. I love it. So yeah, there's some good stuff with it. I just wish it was just Branded Fusion, but for GMX. Come on. Finally, we do have 1 other trap, your 1 and only negate in this deck. You can only activate it if you control a GMX monster. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. And if any of them are either a GMX card, yeah, if any of them are GMX cards, it does that. Only excavation card that does not want a dino as well. But anyways, if any of them are a GMX card, you get to negate that monster effect. Cool. That's all it does? Yeah. Negate that activated effect, and then you can put the cards you excavated on top or bottom of your deck. Why does this not do anything else? I mean, it's a negate. It's a once per turn. You have to have GMX to use it. It's only for monster effects on the field, though. And yeah, this does nothing if your opponent Dark Roller No More is your board, which is all monster effects. It does nothing if your opponent does, Forbidden Droplet, Forbidden Crown. Doesn't do anything for monster effects in hand, graveyard, or deck, or anywhere else. God help you. God help us all if we're playing this deck. God, I love it. I hate a lot of aspects of it, but I love it. Moving on to the extra deck. God, this is taking too long. I'm sorry. First and foremost, we got 2 Velox. Velox is arguably the best fusion in the deck other than Deneen. Big Deneen, that is. Every time your opponent summons a monster, you gain 200 life, which is really important, actually, because this deck does put you low end of quick. And then once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, excavate cards until you hit a Dino or a GMX. You either add that card to your hand or special summon it. You lose 400 life for every card you excavated, and then after you do all that, you destroy the card you targeted. Pretty good card all around. It's another pop. It's a way to excavate on your opponent's turn, and yeah, it's another way to actually get you to stuff. Reviewing Noma or Kimridge off of this is really good. Reviewing Overraptor off of this is really good. So it's another thing where I wish that Salon was a quick effect, because that would be great, but no. Then we got GMX Alos, who I played 2 of. Alos has actually 3 effects. He has the same life point effect as Velox, at least I think he does. Yeah, he does. Where every time your opponent summons, you get a 200 life point boost, which is great. Once per turn, not a quick effect. You can target 1 Dino in your graveyard or banish, special summon it. This card cannot attack the turn you do this. You can fuse them off and then bring them back. But the effective special summon from grave or banish is a hard once per turn, which is kind of annoying. And then finally, also, if he if he attacks, you can automatically kill the monster you're battling. I think, does that also trigger if your opponent's attacking it? Yeah, okay, yeah, actually it does, yes. If it battles a monster, it's not just if it attacks. It never happened, honestly, but, like, it could come up. The big thing is, of course, it's extension. It's another way to get your deck going and everything. Fusing into him is pretty easy. He gets you back Misk from Banished. Just helps you build a board. Next up, we got 1 Big Deneen. You could arguably play 2, especially with Crackle running around right now, but it's up to you. And this is probably the most important fusion in a deck, but the reason why we're only playing 1 is because he's recyclable. So he needs Evolved Deneen along with any Dino to go into. On Special Summon, you get to search any GMX card. And then, if you excavate a card with a GMX card effect, you get to trigger one of the following effects based on where this guy was. If he's on field, you gain 1,500 life points. Woohoo! If he's in graveyard, he comes back from the graveyard. You get to just special summon him. So, and then you get to search, because his effect to search is on any summon, not just on fusion summon, which is amazing and gives this deck so much just recurability and searchability. Being able to just, oh, you excavate on your opponent's turn, cool. Deneen comes back, you then get to search again. Your opponent kills him, you excavate on your turn, he comes back, you get to search again. This deck can very easily burn through its entire deck very quickly thanks to this guy, which I think is just kind of amazing. Anyway, moving on. Next up is a GMX Comprex. This is the GMX boss monster. He needs a GMX monster plus any number of dinosaurs, and he gains the following effects based on the number of dinosaurs that are used for him. Not including GMX monsters. So anyways, based on the number of dinosaurs used as fusion material for him, 3 or more, your opponent can target this card of card effects. Awesome. 4 or more can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase. Woohoo. 5 or more, each time your opponent no more special summons a monster, they lose 800 life points. Cool. Finally, this is not related to that. Once per turn, if you excavate a card by a GMX card effect, you can destroy all their monsters on the field. Comprex is an interesting boss monster. Targeting protection is actually kind of randomly relevant. It makes it very kind of annoying for for Dracotail to have to deal with outside of the one dragon that can destroy them without targeting. I can't remember because Artholian targets, the traps target if my memory is correct. I could be totally wrong. I'm pretty sure Gargamel, whatever it's called, Guramel, whatever, also targets, but yeah, they still have ways to get around it thanks to the stuff that doesn't. But anyways, the fact that this thing's a just lean, mean killing machine, nukes the board, makes your opponent pay life points. It's 3,700 for no good reason. It's really funny. This card's just really, really cool in general. I wish he did a little more. I wish he was just blanket immune to everything. Oh my god, could you... Okay, imagine a world where this thing's immune to all of your opponent's card effects, and you pump this up with little Deneen, so he becomes 40-something hundred, and then you run over to Luna Light Lager Dancers. And then you swing for game for... right after that, because you can attack 3 times. Oh, God, if only. Anyways, moving on to the next fusion, we have Hornsaurus. This card on summon puts a field spell from your deck onto the field. That's like the main effect, honestly. It needs Cattle Parapost, a Dino, or Dragon. This card can attack directly to turn it into special summon. Why only turn it summon? I'll be honest, I didn't even know it did that. You can place a field spell if it's fusion summoned from your deck or graveyard onto your field. And then during your main phase, you can normal summon a Dino or Dragon. So yeah, Hornsaurus is great. And the fact you get an extra normal summon, the fact that you just get to your field spells, the fact that you can grab from deck or graveyard, just a really good fusion monster all around. Like, come on. Like, we need more good generic stuff like this. I like it. Speaking of good generic stuff, Guardian Chimera. We're playing Poly. Why not? Why not? Anyways, moving on. 1 Daguerres to help us dig through our deck every now and then. It doesn't come up much. 1 Doka, 1 Logia. These two do come up and are important to the board, especially if you want to have an out to more stuff. Still doesn't do anything about the aforementioned Dark Ruin No More, Forbidden Crown, Forbidden Droplet, but you know what? It can help with other things. Moving on to the links, we have 1 Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is like your best friend for the end board. The simple thing is that whenever you summon a monster to the zone it points to, and you have a fusion it's pointing to, you get to bring back any guy from your graveyard. So I'll be honest right off the bat, I also have IP and SP, of course. Typical end board looks like this. And then, you activate, and then you summon Deneen here, and then Deneen will trigger search. This will trigger a special summon, and then you go IP and Deneen into SP, and then, of course, also you're probably bringing back Kimridge or Noma over here to also do more disruptions and stuff. It's really annoying. Crush Sheep is so good in this deck. I love it. Finally, we do have 1 Axis Code Talker. This has come up so much, it's kind of annoying. It's either this or Underworld Goddess as like the last slot. It's a flex spot for sure. Daguerres is also a flex spot, so if you want to play both Axis Code Talker and Underworld Goddess, you can. I just prefer the Axis Code Talker because he's come up so much. Especially whenever I played against a Nightcraft. I hate a Nightcraft. Anyways, that is everything for this deck. I love GMX. This deck is so cool. It's got such a fun flavor. We need more Dino decks. I hate how really we've only had 1 true Dino deck in the game's lifespan with the Dino deck, not an archetype, the Dino deck. Where's the Rex Raptor, like, archetype? Come on, like, actually, after seeing what they did to Joey, I don't know. But, like, yeah, we only have the generic Dino stuff from the structure deck from, like, God, is it 10 years ago now? It feels like longer. I feel old. But anyways, and then we have Jurak and the HTO deck. What? I feel like I'm missing a Dino deck. Oh, Evols, technically? Well, they're everything. They're Pokemon. But I digress. I don't want to sit here and take up your time. That is everything. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Rate, comment, subscribe. Give me your ideas down below. I'd really appreciate it. See what you guys think. Let me know what you think of the lighting again. I think this looks so much better. I think we solved our lighting issue, guys. So much better. And I don't have to swelter without my fan on either. Like, it does not look like a rave. I mean, you can kind of see it underneath, but it's not a rave anymore. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down below. Peace out, and goodbye. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider rating, commenting, and subscribing. Sharing the video helps as well. If you especially really like it, please do consider being a channel member. Every little bit helps out. And hey, also why not check me out on my other social media pages. Thank you, and have a great day.